Good morning, everybody. That's what you can see here this morning. I'm having a hard time with the recordings again. I have to lose memory space. I have to lose it all. The wind keeps coming up. This morning, excuse me, I've quit smoking 3 months. Kids, don't get me wrong. There's a lot to be said for a cigarette, all right? My brother David always says, Andy, you name me one person. It takes 5 minutes out of every hour just to breathe, brother. But I've smoked my quota, and I'm 23rd of November since I've smoked a cigarette. And I can't say that I'm feeling any better, but my pockets feel a little heavier. There's a reason I quit, right? $17.70 for a pack of smokes, man. Holy jumps. When I went across the island in the spring, it was just around $13. And when I came back in the fall, that's what it had jumped to. And I said, enough is enough is enough. But I missed them. I didn't get on here this morning to talk about cigarettes. I started to talk about weather. And I'll just finish this very quickly. I'll start and finish this very quickly. My mother has a great expression. She says, nobody comes to Newfoundland for the weather unless they really love weather. Yeah. And when I say love weather, when she says love weather, she means all facets of it. Look, guys, look up behind me. This is magnificent. The sun is coming up. It is a gorgeous morning. But I've been sneaking around, trying to get under the wind. It was perfectly calm here this morning. And I hadn't looked at the forecast, but I have a pretty good understanding. I mean, we've had pretty much certainly two major snow systems come in this week. See, what happens out here, two of the world's most extremely polarized ocean currents converge right here off the coast of St. John's. The beautiful tepid waters of the Gulf Stream. Right, some of you guys have been to Florida, right? You know what the water temperatures are like down there. Well, imagine now that of that Gulf, right? That is an energy bomb, right? The heat that is created in the Gulf of Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, that drives north. It drives all the way along the Carolinas. It gets as far as Cape Cod. It swings off the coast. It gets right here off of St. John's, Newfoundland, and right here. Right? I mean, this is a body of water that it sustains a lot of that temperature all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. It actually has a huge climatic effect in London, in England, in Scotland, and places like that. But here, it would probably be a lot more influential here if it wasn't for the Labrador Current. Now, the Labrador Current starts off the coast of Greenland. It also moves in a northern direction. It starts on the west coast of Greenland, moves north, passes by those glaciers, picks up those icebergs, swings, and it gets to the Labrador Sea. It swings across the north towards the west, and then it turns on the Labrador coast and makes it all the way up the coast of Labrador, all the way up the coast of Newfoundland. That gets right here on St. John's, what we call it Iceberg Alley, and right here is where it meets the Labrador Current. Now, can you just imagine the intensity, the activity? You talk about when you're watching the news and you're watching your weatherman, your meteorologist, Eddie Shear. We love Eddie Shear. When you watch these characters in the evening time and they're dancing around and they're sensationalizing everything, imagine the time they'll have in a place like this. They're out there, out in the rest of North America, talking about low pressure systems and high pressure systems and the likes of that. Whereas we have got a weather bomb happening all the time. When these two currents converge, talk about pressure drops, talk about pressure differences, talk about an effect on the climate and on the environment and on everything that goes on around here. So, as a gentleman from Scotland, I was hiking the other day in Freshwater Bay and I met this gentleman from Scotland. It was a day like this. Now, we've had 2 snowstorms this week, by the way, right? And I said, we were talking about, he said, it's amazing. And I don't do a very good Scottish accent. I'm not even going to try. But he said, it's amazing coming from Scotland. He says, over there, the weather sets in, buddy, and it just sits on you. Newfoundland, sure, we get these really intense weather systems where we get these great storms and they're magnificent. He said, and as I always say, they can't kill you, right? You can actually go out, you can walk around in them. You can actually appreciate, you can experience a storm here in Newfoundland. But what's more important, you get up the next day The weather's changed. The wind has changed, right? Everything is softened out. You have a chance to get out and do your shoveling, do your sliding, take advantage of whatever it is that happens to be your way. I mean, look, sometimes we don't get the snow. Sometimes you got to go for a hike. But we learn to live with it. We'll weather the weather. Another one of my mother's expressions. We'll weather the weather, no matter the weather, whether we like it or not. Thanks, guys.